Hi there. Today we're going to talk about anxiety with children and the developmental and behavioural elements. So we were going to be talking about the physical elements today, but Bianca Borden, the naturopath who's going to be joining me, and I had a bit of a scheduling issue, so we're going to now do that in the next week's video. So today I'm going to be comprehensively covering lots of different points as I have in the other videos. I just want to underscore that sometimes there are a few other elements and complexities that are really case specific. So these are times and situations are best supported one-on-one. So I do offer that. And also the Circle of Security group that I do, I've seen incredible changes happen with really severe cases of anything where there's big behaviours going on in the family and where parents are really struggling with that. So get in touch if you need that support. Also, if you find these videos helpful, if you would be willing to like or share or both so that I can help more people with some of these suggestions, that would be much appreciated. So on to today's topic, we want to be aware that anxiety can present in many different ways. It can look like irritability, anger, being withdrawn, not wanting to cooperate, being shy, seeming clingy, excessively doing certain things like reading or drawing or gaming, really where it seems like they've actually found something that helps them to regulate these things. It's sort of like a behavioural self-medicating. So the other thing is we can find children will be really controlling or try to be really controlling, and if we let them, they can be. And so this is really a way of I'm trying to regulate, control my environment, and handle the onslaught of what I'm feeling is happening. So it can be really tempting to go to approach this in two different ways. Totally well-meaning, of course. We can come at it as, from at one end of the spectrum, try and talk them out of whatever it is they're worried about, invalidating it, rationalizing, negotiating with them. And really what this can do is make their world a little bit more scary, because it sort of exacerbates the position they're already in, which is, I'm feeling too much, I don't think anyone understands, and I don't think anyone's going to take it seriously, so I need to make a big deal out of it. So you're likely to get even more resistance if you approach things that way. The other end of the spectrum is, and we're wanting to sometimes minimize the drama and how exhausting things can be. So we anticipate where they're going to get anxious, and then we protect them from those situations to such a degree that they're really quite sheltered and they're not being challenged, which is, in that area of discomfort is where their capacities will grow. So we're just wanting to try to stay away from both ends of the spectrum and find a middle ground. So, we're really wanting to help them in that maturing, and notice that, sometimes we'll think that, they used to be okay with this, and how come suddenly they're not? We used to be able to take them out to dinner or to parties and they would just fall asleep on the couch, maybe when they were 1.5, and now that they're 3, they're just having meltdowns. I thought they were meant to develop their capacities or be, increasing those kinds of skills. But sometimes what can happen is, as they're starting to take in the more information, they're starting to think about it, realize things, worry about strangers, need that reliability of a calm environment as they're being stimulated and aware of more and more. So just if you can take in notice their behaviours as signals to what they're ready for, or how much support they might be needing to make their world just a little bit smaller for now, and then watch as their capacities grow and then make it a little bit bigger. So it might be that they need more dependability and reliability and structure for a while, or kids actually really thrive in that environment, and you do need some freedom as well, so it's all about balance. For example, like at the age of around 8, 9, 10, depending on where they're at, they're going to start to have awareness dawning on them that there's really is good and evil in the world. or good and bad. Some people mean harm. Death is permanent. These things, as they're realizing these big things to come to terms with, you might notice a real sobering around that time where they're really cautiously trying to make sense of things. So we're really wanting to be aware that that's a lot, and to try to let them be exposed to that in as incremental and tempered way as you think they can handle. So that's again where exposure to too much information, friends' houses where they're allowed to watch any movie, may actually be really quite shocking to them if you've been really aware about how much they take in when, and if they're a really sensitive kid. So really controlling the pace as much as we can in line with their capacity. Children who are really sensitive as well can find their social world quite confusing. So support with understanding interactions or things that have gone badly or challenging or big emotions, talking them through that and helping them to understand and organise that is really going to help them to feel a bit calmer. So wherever possible, making their environment so that they're not feeling like the world is just happening to them, that they're informed and they're readied and they're able to transition. So minimising situations where they're thrown in beyond their capacity will be a real help to them, so that they're not feeling this sense of being out of control. So this doesn't mean that we're not putting them in challenging situations, but when we are putting them in new challenging situations, we're letting them know what's coming and what's going to happen and what that will look like, and that they've got support and that you're there and that they can do as much as they feel ready for today. You know, a lot of anxiety can really be fueled by a sense of powerlessness, and kids are really acutely aware of how little they are and how little control they have or influence they have. So they're always sort of going, hey, me, and asserting that, which is really healthy. And we want to let them know that they're not in charge, and so because that's a real burden for the child. So while we're really wanting to respect their sovereignty and autonomy, we're also wanting to not overburden them with big decisions that they don't have the perspective to know yet, what's best for them. And so as the parent, you're in charge and it's up to you. And then it's helping them to be able to inwardly ready and prepare and grow those capacities to then do that. And, it may need to be at a different pace to other kids if your child is having big problems with anxiety at the moment. We're also wanting to notice where we may actually be asking the child's permission for something that they actually really do have to do. So this can feel like manipulation to a child. And we also don't want them feeling responsible for what am I going to choose. If I can choose whether or not I want to go to swimming, then I'm going to say no. But if it's actually, we need you to learn how to swim because we've got a pool and we're in Australia and you're going to be, in lots of situations where you may need to be able to swim, and I want you to be strong and to grow and to be able to really enjoy the water. So we're going to swimming tomorrow and I'll be there to support you, and then maybe you can choose something you might like to do next. Would we like to go to the library next, or we could go to the park? Which one would you like to do? And then, in the morning we sat, getting them ready with reminders. So in half an hour we're going to be going swimming like we talked about, and then we're going to do whatever that activity was that you chose. So, and I'm going to be there, and I think I can see how you're getting really strong at swimming. And so those incremental reminders about time, of what we're doing next, and, later today we'll go swimming, and these kinds of things helps them to gauge time and inwardly ready themselves. We also want to be supporting and helping them stretch their capacity. So whilst we're not wanting to throw them in the deep end, we're not wanting to do everything for them or shelter them either. So appeasing them or negotiating with them isn't really that helpful for them, because really that's they're in charge again. So we're wanting to support the maturing of their emotional capacity at a pace they can handle, whilst respecting their timing, but also we're surrounding them, really normalizing an activity like swimming, having other children around them who are enjoying it, or eating our vegetables all together, or everybody getting ready for bed together, and some rituals around that. As I've said before, we want them to be comfortably uncomfortable so that they can grow. And so this means that if they're really pushing and really, really scared and just completely terrified of something, just easing off that one for now. At the same time, we're wanting to hold a capacity for they will be able to grow in this area, and we don't give up on any particular area, always staying open to their shifting and growing in what they can handle. So we want to be sending the message that you've got everything it takes to do this, and when you're ready, you will. Play can also be a really helpful tool to use. It's connecting and it's relaxing and it's giving perspective. So you can use that along the way as well. So noticing how you're presenting something. Are you already a little bit nervous about, because last time they had a bit of a meltdown, that you're presenting it is, now we've got to go swimming tomorrow. I know you don't like it, but we've got to do it, So then they're like, ooh, straight away they're holding on. But just if you can present things with an energy around that, it's actually going to be really lovely and it can be good and you can handle it. And I'm going to, I'll be there and I'll support you. So presenting something with an energy of holding space, that they can do it and that they can do it at the pace that they need to, and you're going to be there to support. And, because you might just find that the next week they're actually fine. And so if it's held with that energy, then they might just follow your lead. So I hope some of those tips were helpful for you. Next week, we're going to be looking at the contributors that are physical, biological, dietary elements, and talking with the wonderful naturopath Bianca Borden. So thanks for joining me, and until next time, go gently. Bye-bye.